Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Indie on the Rocks series where I sit back and relax with a nice drink in hand and take a look at an interesting indie game that I've found online recently. And for today's episode we are having a gander at PolyRace, which is a minimalistic sci-fi 3D racing game that has a very interesting feature, which is the reason why I did want to check this out, and that feature is an infinite number of tracks. It's a very interesting thing. Every day, this game produces a new track. Now that is your track for the day as I understand it right now, but still, every day you get an entirely new, randomly generated track. So basically, the potential of races are infinite. You can have as many tracks as you like, but again, provided that it's once a day. Now that will probably change into the future. I know that they are wanting to look into other game modes like an infinite race and, looping tracks so you can do laps, etc. But for right now, you have one track per day that's randomly generated. And yeah, that's what you got, and that's interesting. That is very interesting to me. The idea of a racing game that essentially never runs out of tracks is very, very cool. Now, I say that it's a minimalistic game because, well, as you can probably tell from the name being PolyRace, as well as the background we have on here right now, it's a very low poly, minimalistic sort of design to this whole thing. I mean, it's not really detailed texturing or models. It's just enough to get the point across, which I love those sorts of games, provided they're done well. And this one definitely seems to be done well so far. But you see, yeah, let's just jump into this and check out what we have here. Now, the first thing I want to point out, and it's a pet peeve of mine considering this is on Steam Greenlight, so it's, being marketed towards people who have computers. I have no mouse. I cannot use my mouse to use any of the buttons at the top. I can't even see the mouse. I'm moving it around right now, and it is not moving anywhere on the screen. If you're selling a game on Steam, I don't care what in the hell the game is, give mouse control, because instead we have to use the arrow keys to move around. We can't even use WASD. You have to use the arrow keys, and then for options, hit enter. And still, again here, no mouse control. You actually have to hit down to get to the options menu. And then, oddly enough, hit left to actually go right. So to get to the sound effects up button, I actually had to hit left. I don't understand that, but that is what you have to do. And, well, it's a computer game, and these are all the options we have here. We have reset local data, which doesn't actually work. I tried to reset it before the video just to have a fresh start. But because I did try out all the different cars, so I knew what I was talking. Well, hovercrafts really. So I knew what I was talking about and wanted to reset it to have a fresh start. Did not work. We still have all the same data from when I was playing earlier. Now we do have an enable logs, and then the only real options we have are sound effect volume and music volume. Now this game is being made in Unity, so we do get that standard Unity launcher, at least right now in this alpha or beta. Oh god, it's like 0.6.1 or 0.6.1, so I'm not entirely sure what stage this is at the moment, but yes, you get the standard Unity options, generic resolution, generic graphics, that's it. I'd love to see those here. I'd also love to be able to control this stuff with the mouse, but nope, we have the arrow keys, and they're kind of messed up, as I said. You have to hit left to go right. I don't know why. It's only in the menus. In the game, it works properly. Again, with the keyboard. But yeah, I'm on a computer. I want to use my mouse. Let me do that rather than having to, hit the button over and over and over to go to the option that I want. But nonetheless, enough of that. Let's go into actually playing a race. Now, I am currently playing offline. There is, even at this alpha/beta stage, whatever in the world it's at, there is an online mode that you can sign up with and, get a username, and there'll be world leaderboards. There is a turn-by-turn multiplayer where you're not actually racing against other people, you're racing against their ghost. So it's another sort of, ghost car on the track that you're just trying to keep pace with. It's not an actual race at the moment. Hopefully in the future, I think they do plan on having a proper multiplayer support. But for right now, it's just ghost cars or hover vehicles, rather. But yeah, it's interesting. But for single player, which is where we're at, we do still at least have the garage. I mean, that's not going to get affected by single or multiplayer, but we have this garage button right here, which if we go into, we can actually use to pick which hovercraft we want to race with. And now, right now, at this moment, there are 3 different hovercrafts. We have the Titan, which, if I'm remembering correctly everything, the Titan is good for straightaways, but not good in turns. The Talon is good for turns, but not straightaways. And the T-Rex, which is sort of your average one. And I seem to be best with the Titan, but I'm going to show off the T-Rex because it has by far the coolest model, I think, of the 3. So we're going to go with that. And we do have upgrade points available to us here, and this ties in with the whole daily thing. Every day you get a new track. You try and get better and better at that track, and if you have multiplayer on, you try and move your way up the leaderboards. And as you get better, you can earn points to spend in here in the garage. And then the next day, when there's a new track, all of these things reset. So all your points go away and you have to start the whole thing over again. It's basically a daily trials sort of a thing. And I kind of like that idea. I think that's quite interesting as a way of, you know, doing a multiplayer. You're competing against everyone and trying to get better and better so you can upgrade your ship to get even better and better. And then the next day, it's all over again with a whole new track that everyone has to learn, so it levels the playing field for all once more. That is a really cool idea. I do really like that. So yeah, that is how it is at the moment. You select your ship between 3. They are working on a 4th. I believe they calling it Whiskey, but they haven't really done anything with that yet. But yes, let's go into actually race. We'll go with the T-Rex, because as I said, I think it's the coolest of the models right now. But I do fly or, you know, race better with the Titan at the moment. But let's go into race, and it's loading the level, creating mesh, all that. And another thing for being minimalistic is the controls. I'm not hitting anything right now, and our ship is going forward. That's because you have no control over throttle. You just have control of left and right. And also boost, which you do with spacebar. We can hit spacebar and you can see our energy is going down with the energy is the middle bar at the bottom, and that is your boost. And yeah, it just gets you up to much higher speed, but makes your turning radius a lot wider. And oh boy, I love the model on this thing. As you can see, the wings kind of turn in whenever you're moving around and turning. I like that. That's why I love the model the most out of this one. The Titan doesn't do that. The Titan is a very solid ship, and oh god, I don't remember if the last craft does. The oh god, what's the name of it? Oh, I've forgotten already. But yes, the 3rd ship, the one that's good for turns. I don't remember if it has the folding wings. But yes, we can race along. You don't hit anything with the accelerator. You just turn left and right with the left and right arrow keys. I could probably change it in the Unity launcher to work with WASD, but default, out of the box, it works with either the arrow keys or a joystick, apparently, or a gamepad. But I am using the arrow keys, which, again, let me rebind my keys in-game. That would be very, very nice. And, yeah, the whole point is to make your way through this randomly generated daily track and try and better your time every go that you do this, and try not to get yourself killed. You'll notice we have a few things. We have that armor shield up at the top. Whenever we hit the terrain, that goes down, and also the energy at the bottom goes down. And if the energy at the bottom goes down, you explode. And now the shield, it protects your craft a little bit, but if your shield's all the way down, you lose energy much, much more quickly. So if you just continuously hit things, that energy will go down very quick, and then you'll go kaboom. So far, though, it's proven quite difficult to actually explode. I'm awful at flying around in, like, the really, really fast hovercrafts. But still, I haven't been able to blow up a ship yet, and I've actually intentionally tried to do it. Now, as for the actual game, I'm not going to go through the arch because that will finish us off here. I am loving the design. As I said, the sort of minimalist polygon design I really like if done well. And I think they've done it well here. I love that we have the polygonal cactuses and, you know, rocks and little trees here. You've got the polygonal clouds up at the top. It's all very nicely done. I really do like the design of it. Currently, this desert is the only environment that's in-game. They are working on a continental and a mountain environment as well, but those are still in the works. And yeah, I love even the, you know, little particle trail coming off of the back of our hovercraft here is even nice little triangles, etc. It's very cool. I think they did very nicely with the design. It's very, very nice indeed in the look of it. The controls, it's tight. I don't like it being on the arrow keys, as I said earlier, but that's more just preference from me. But the actual controls are quite tight. They control as they should, especially between the 3 different styles. Like, this one's an all-arounder. It's definitely a good middle ground vehicle. The Titan, which I like because it's good on the straights, but it's horrible with turns. You have a really wide turn radius on that thing, which is not good at all in some of the very, very tight corners of this map. And yeah, it all controls quite nicely. It's just, I would really like to be able to rebind my keys, but that is an option complaint from me, and well, I have many of those in many games. Now, as for the races themselves, I like the idea of the daily track. Let's actually finish this so we can sort of see how we did, which is awful. we went for 4 minutes and 6 seconds. So far, my best is 1:22, and that was with the Titan. And yeah, it shows you the number of hits here, and this is one of the things why I wanted to stop here and talk about the actual races. The hit number is very important because that's actually how you earn those points I was talking about earlier for you to spend in the garage. Now, you can see at the very bottom, you only get points if you have less than 3 hits. So 2 hits, you'll get 2 points. 1 hit, you'll get 4 points, and 0 hits, you get 8 points. So the better of a driver you are with these little hovercrafts, the more points you will get for not hitting things, which is a very, very important thing to do. You know, you really don't want to be hitting other things when you're racing. Now, you can also see that it does show your energy consumption, and that is the energy that... that's the damage energy. So we have a lot more hits, so of course we consumed a lot more energy from our shield having to recharge to keep us from blowing up, which is, again, a good thing. Now, as for the whole daily racing aspect, I really like that because you can just keep on working at this map over and over in one day, but I also don't like it because after today, we can never play this particular track again. And that, to me, I'm not too fond of. I'm hoping they'll have, like, some properly designed, like, custom-designed tracks down the road, because as I said, they are working on some other modes. They're thinking about an endless runner mode, which I think would be interesting. You probably really have to watch your energy on that to keep yourself from blowing up. And also working on a loop track mode with multiple laps. I'm kind of hoping that the lap ones... that those loop tracks are custom designed rather than being generated, because, you know, it'd be nice to play your favorite track over and over rather than having a new one every day that you have to relearn again. But yeah, still though, I do quite enjoy it. Let's go to the garage real quick, switch up to... let's do the Titan. This one's actually, no, let's do the Talon. I'm the worst with the Talon, so let's go and do this one, because obviously we should play around with the hovercraft that I'm the worst at. So let's go restart the race, and this time with the Talon. As you can see, a different nice model, and let's sort of loop around real quick. You can see we do kind of get the parts of the ship bending a little bit on the edges, like with the T-Rex, but it's not quite as pronounced. And now finally the Talon one, the very last one. Or wait, hold on a minute. Am I getting them confused? Yes, we're currently using the Talon. The Titan is the one I like. The Titan. Oh my god, I am... keep forgetting these things. The Titan is pretty solid. No real moving parts. But yeah, this one is, as you can tell, definitely from the T-Rex, it's a much, much tighter turning circle. That is what this thing is meant to do, and it's pretty good at it. And now another feature I should point out that I almost forgot about here is we do also have multiple camera views and multiple camera types. So if we hit V, we should cycle between different camera types, I believe. So we're farther away, a chase camera, and then a close-up camera. And then with C, we should go between camera modes. So we've got the above view here, which is interesting, very interesting. Oh, we've got like a ride-along view. That's pretty cool. I haven't actually noticed that one before. That's pretty sweet. I like that. It'd be hell to actually drive with this one, but hey, oh well. And then sort of a camera view here, all working quite nicely, pretty good. I do like all these different camera views, and they give you, you know, an interesting way to look at things. Now, they aren't as useful, of course, for flying around on your ship because, well, like that cinematic view, you really don't want to be using that when flying around. That would be very detrimental. But one thing I'll show off after we beat this match... Actually, I'm doing pretty good with this one, surprisingly. Maybe it was the Talon I wasn't good at. Oh my god, They all start with T. I keep getting them confused. At least the new one, once they finally get around to making it, which will be a whiskey, that should be easier to remember. It's a W, but all these, they're all T's. So I'm probably getting them all confused. There we go, do a little boost. Oh god, oh dear lord. Oh, that was a hard hit. Oh yeah, I'm actually liking this one. I guess this was the one that I was liking more. Oh god, that's a tight corner. Oh boy. Actually, that's a good point. A good time to point out another issue I have with this. Since we have no throttle control, we have no reverse. So if you get stuck in a corner like we just were, you just have to keep trying to turn your way out of it. You can't just back up slowly and then come about to restart. So it's kind of... yeah, it's odd. You can get stuck in corners and strange places, and it just makes kind of a mess and really kills your time. But let's finish this race and show off one more feature here. You can see in the background, we are moving around again. Oh, that is the race that we were just watching. And we can change the camera views like we could when we were actually in the race, and it's showing a replay of what we were doing in the race, or at least it's supposed to. I don't remember getting stuck there. Interesting. Interesting. That might still be a feature that's yet to be fully fleshed out, but that is supposed to be what this is it's supposed to be a replay of the race, so you can, you know, do the different camera views, check everything out, and, you know, try and learn from your mistakes, see where you went wrong, which, of course, with my racing, I went wrong all over the place. But yeah, it's still a fun game. I do definitely enjoy it. And wow, even with circling around for a while on that one, we still did much better than our first race that we did here. I mean, overall, it's a fun game. I cannot wait to see how it progresses with the other modes that they want to add in and other things that they are wanting to add into the game. Such as, oh god, let me look over here. They are wanting to add new sound effects. They're wanting the music to be dynamic. Right now, it's just a looping track. In the future, they want it to be dynamic, so if it's a really intense race, the music will change. I can't wait to get that sort of stuff. Plus the new environments. This desert, though cool, it would be nice to see some other colors. And also the other racing modes would be quite nice to have. My biggest complaints for it are definitely the controls, as in I can't rebind them. The options menu, which is abysmal. The lack of any mouse support whatsoever, which is just horrendous to me on a computer game. And finally, the lack of a reverse. That whole aspect of you getting stuck in corners is kind of annoying. It would be much nicer to be able to actually, you know, properly get ourselves out by just reversing rather than trying to go in circles to actually get out of a sticky situation. But nonetheless, right now, good game. I really hope that it does improve and that it gets better, because I can see this being very fun, especially with this whole daily rotating map thing. I think that is very cool. And yeah, I hope to see it continue on, and I hope you go and try it out. If you'd like to, you can follow the link in the description, as always. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and of course, that you come back for the next, when we will be checking out yet another, hopefully fun indie game. But until then, thank you for watching, my friends, and as always, have a good one.